Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Grannis, and among other things, I'm the Mayor Pro Tem of the Town of Clayton. I'm also a business owner here, and I also have a passion about what is going to be discussed today. Just to give you a little bit of background, several years ago, I was invited to participate on a finance committee for an organization based in Smithfield, and what they wanted to do was to build a miracle field baseball diamond for special needs children. And one of the things that I do not do well is raise money. And after a few meetings, I shared that with them, and I had worked essentially kind of behind the scenes working with them for a few years, or a few months, I should say. And during the course of that, it really became obvious to me that we needed to do something of a similar nature, not the same, but similar, here in Clayton. And with that, among several conversations, what evolved was an idea to have what is called a universal playground, simply meaning a playground that all children of all needs, whether they be special or otherwise, can play together, and that siblings can play together. And we embarked on a program a few years ago, the town and a committee, and we actually have a site that's dedicated, and we have raised some funding, but we're in a new era, and that's why we're here today. And with that, I'm going to turn this over to Rob, who is going to lead us in an invocation.
Heavenly Father, we thank you this week of Thanksgiving. We thank you for the town of Clayton, for these leaders, for this vision they have for this playground, this special playground for all kids. We know there's no greater joy than seeing all your kids playing together, and this vision will empower these kids. We ask that you give the leaders, the town of Clayton, the organizers, the courage and the strength to push through as we embark on this first milestone, the campaign fundraising milestone. We ask these things in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. And now I'd like to introduce Mike Sims. Mike.
Could we all stand while we pledge allegiance and turn towards the flag, please? Please join me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
All right now I'm going to introduce Dean Penny. He's going to come give a few words.
Good morning. My name is Dean Penny, and I'm here today representing the Clayton Recreational Foundation. The foundation was created about 35 years ago, really as an avenue to help accept private donations to help us with various things in the park system. And I can tell you, having grown up here in Clayton and see the changes in the town and the changes in our recreational system has just been phenomenal, particularly over the last 10 years. But directly under the direction of Larry Bailey and our recreational department. But never have we tried to take on something as ambitious as what we're talking about today. And I'm extremely proud to be a part of helping bring this universal playground to reality. So our foundation decided that in order to make this work, we really needed to bring in some people that could energize this and energize the community and help us raise the funds for that. And so we have contracted with TNT Creative and with Lynn Purkerson, and she's going to share a lot more about what we can expect to see over the coming months and help bring this to reality. Thank you.
All right, good morning. Good morning. First of all, I would like to say thank you to my wonderful boss, Derek Thompson, the CEO and founder of TNT Creative Group, and help bringing this to fruition. And I'm going to share just a little bit about the playground with you and what our endeavor is. I just thank you so much for being here today as we bring new life to inclusion play right here in Clayton, North Carolina. And what a special season of the year to be making this announcement right here at Thanksgiving. We, as a community, have so much to be thankful for. Over the past few weeks, I have been fortunate to meet with so many folks throughout the community and North Carolina in regard to the Universal Playground Initiative at East Clayton Community Park in partnership with the Clayton Community Recreational Foundation. In one of the many conversations shared on this project, it was mentioned an inclusion playground was not needed in every town in Johnston County. I completely agree. We need 5 or more in every town in Clayton, in Johnston County, our 9 surrounding counties, and throughout the state of North Carolina and beyond. Right now, I'd like to share just a few facts. I've done a lot of research, but in Johnston County, we have 31,850 children ages 5 through 21 who are disabled. In Nash County, they have 20.6% with a disability. In Wake County, 10.1%. In Wilson, they have 20%. In Wayne, they have 20%. In Sampson County, they have 21.2%. In Harnett County, they have almost 20%. And it's on the rise. One other statistic I will give you is the prevalence of autism in U.S. children increased by 119.4% from 2000 to 2010. Autism is the fastest growing developmental disability, and the overall rate of prevalence increased from 1 in 88 in 2012 to 1 in 68 for the 11 state samples. In North Carolina, the rate increased from 1 in 70 to 1 in 58 in 2012. The factors in Johnston County, statewide and nationally, that have led to the rise of children born with special needs include the increase in the number of infants born drug-exposed or drug-addicted, increase in the number of teen pregnancy leading to poor prenatal care and premature birth, the number of infants and children who are HIV positive and born with AIDS. As a result of improved medical care and technology, the survival rates for seriously impaired neonates and children with serious pediatric disorders has increased. The range of traditional social services has not been able to meet the growing demand for support for families who care for these children. Changes in medical insurance coverage and the cost effectiveness of home health care have limited the amount of time a seriously ill child can remain in hospitals or other institutional settings. Earlier recognition of caregivers, parents, medical professionals, and education providers, and the developmental delays in children's play, learning, speaking, and actions are also a factor. The town of Clayton understands the importance of inclusion play for children of all abilities, and they want to make this a reality for everyone near and far to see and be a part of. It goes beyond just building a playground. It encompasses education, empowerment, safety, and focuses on the elements of inclusion play for all children, which include communication, social, sensory, physical, and cognitive. On behalf of TNT Creative Group, I am honored to direct this capital campaign through November 2017 and work alongside our steering committee, our education committee, our unity committee. We have members here today who serve on that committee, and we will be having a youth council of children that want to assist and help to reach our goal of $700,000 to construct this reality for Clayton, Johnston County, the state of North Carolina, and beyond. But most of all, make this a reality for all children. With this said, I am humbled beyond measure to introduce the chair of the Universal Playground Steering Committee, Ms. Jennifer Dalman, partner of Walker, Lamb, Rudy, Costley, and Gill, PLLC. I've never had to adjust a microphone up, Lynn, so this is a first.
No, well, thank you so much, Lynn, for that wonderful introduction. And I have to say it's me who is humbled to be here today. The community leaders have already made such headway in this project, and it's just an honor to be able to participate going forward, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. So as Lynn mentioned, I am an attorney by trade, but years before my legal education, I was actually studying early childhood education as an undergraduate. And a common theme of all of my courses was the importance of play, not just for children's physical development, but also for their social, emotional, cognitive, language development. As children are on the playground, they are learning fine and gross motor skills, but they are also learning to play cooperatively, to take turns, to share. They're exploring the world around them. They're learning critical thinking and problem-solving skills. It's on the playground that children really learn a lot of things that can't be taught in the classroom, and it's so important to have a safe space for children to hone these different skills. But the traditional playground model does not work for all children. And as Lynn has said, a huge percentage of children have been identified as having one or more disabilities. And so that's what this project is all about to me. It's making sure that we have an opportunity for children who don't necessarily learn in the same way as their peers, don't need the same play space as their peers. We want to make sure that they are included and they have a safe space. This project is very near and dear to my heart. Personally, I actually have a family member who has been identified as having a disability, and so I have had to work to make sure he has the accommodations and the resources that he needs to be successful. Professionally, one of the largest practice areas of our law firm is special needs planning, and so we have worked with many, many families who have children or adults that suffer from a disability. And so I know firsthand that there is often a frustrating lack of resources to accommodate those families and those different needs that these children have. But I have also seen firsthand a lot of improvements over the last decade. A lot of community leaders and parents and politicians like the wonderful Donna White, who is here today, that are advocating to make sure we have space for all children, for all adults, for people of all abilities. And so I am excited to see the growth in universal playgrounds, and I'm especially excited and humbled that our little town of Clayton is really on the cutting edge of providing these types of resources. So that is just absolutely awesome. And I was talking to some folks on the Unity Committee before, and we were talking about how hopefully this can serve as a model for other towns in North Carolina and across the country. And so that is really exciting to be a part of that. So thank you again. I am so excited to be a part of this, and thank you to all the community leaders that have already done so much towards this effort. So it is an exciting time, and I am grateful to be a part of it. I now have the privilege of introducing Ms. White, newly elected to our House of Representatives on behalf of Johnston County. Was just talking to her before, and it turns out she's the first woman in 270 years to be elected in Johnston County, so that's exciting. She also has a background as a nurse, and so she has worked with children with developmental disabilities, which gives her a special insight that she'll be able to bring to our House of Representatives and advocate for policies that are inclusive for all children. So it's a pleasure and a privilege to have her here today, and we're going to invite her up to say a few words.
Wow. When you build it, they will come. And that's what I-40 did for Johnston, Harnett, Sampson, and the surrounding counties. As a nurse, working with developmental disabilities throughout my career at different times in different locations. But as a school board member for the last 12 years, I have seen what the building of I-40 did to our local counties in terms of getting a very open route for people to move into Johnston County and the surrounding counties that border us and have easy access to Duke and UNC teaching hospitals and research hospitals, which have special programs for autism and other developmental disabilities. I cannot tell you the hundreds of parents that have said to us, the reason we came to Johnston County, we realized that there was this wonderful county. A lot of them have ended up in the Western Quarter because of the access that they came here actually for, and that was to be able to have great research and great care for their children with developmental disabilities. So the school system is funded a percentage by the federal government for services to children with developmental disabilities. Johnston County local resources with our county commissioners have doubled that funding because we do not get enough from the federal government to meet the numbers of children that we have in our system. So your statistics, Lynn, were on point. And so that's why it's an additional opportunity to be here with you today for this great special program of announcements of all the teams that are going to be a part of building this great playground. So thank you so much, Lynn. I do have to go back to a special person, Michael Grannis, that called me, and I guess 3 years ago we had a lunch and we talked about some collaboration with one of our local schools, and that was the first that I had heard about this opportunity in Clayton. So there cannot be too many playgrounds, there cannot be too many people like Michael Grannis. And when I look around this room, I'm just filled with emotion because there are just so many special people that I know have had a great Larry Bailey that have had just their hands have been on this for a long time before we knew it was called a universal playground. I am so honored to be able to introduce Jan Craig, a mom and a special mom of a special student at East Clayton Elementary School, one of my liaison schools. As after today, I will no longer be on the school board, but it will still be my school. She is going to chair the Unity Committee, and she will bring the vision, hopes, with her team. She will be able to bring the vision, hopes, and the dreams of so many people in this room and beyond in the greater Clayton area to fruition. I had that word, and when you used it, I said, well, I've got to use it again because it's on my speech. To fruition for this universal playground. So it's my honor to be here. Thank you so much, Lynn, for inviting me to be a part of this. Thank you for your vision, Michael, and thank you, Larry, for all that you've done for recreation for all ages for so many years in the Johnston County, Clayton area. Thank you. Jan.
Well, thank you. It's exciting to be here. Thank you, Lynn, for having me. Like she said, I have a special needs daughter. I have two, an 11-year-old and a 6-year-old. The 6-year-old special needs. So for me, this is kind of just putting a little personal spin on what this means for me and how exciting this is for me. I've been a long-time resident of Clayton, so I just feel like this is so special for the town that I've really come to love. Being a special needs mom, I can't speak for all of them, but I hope that I can give a voice to some of them here. So what's it like raising a special needs child? It's overwhelming. It's tiresome. It's lonely. It's isolating sometimes. But there's so much joy in it. Just this morning, getting ready, somehow my 6-year-old was listening to Who Let the Dogs Out? So there is so much joy. And whether your child has special needs, whether they're typically developing, we as moms, we all want the same thing for them. We want them to smile, be happy, have joy. We want them to play, because is that not the job of all our kids, really? So I'm gonna just read a quote from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Play, it allows children to use their creativity while developing their imagination, dexterity, and physical, cognitive, and emotional strength. To me, this quote pretty much just says that the most important thing we can do for our children is to let them play, provide an opportunity to play. Like I said, whether they're typically developing, whether they're special needs, they need to play. So here's my experience on playgrounds. They haven't been good. My daughter barely walked until she was 3, so I would be on the playground helping her get up to a playground, just getting to the playground itself, just transitioning the steps just to enter the play area, helping her get up the stairs just to get to a slide that was too steep for her to go down, or the drop-off was too great that she couldn't go down it. Swing sets that she couldn't ride unless maybe it was the infant seat, and she would be too big for that anyway. And none of the children would interact with her. She's special needs. Her mom is helping her with every step. So there's no interaction with other children. For me, there's no interaction with any other moms because I'm very busy with her on the playground. So what that turns into is I've learned to avoid playgrounds. Before she was 3 years old, I was helping her on a play set that was new to me, and I misjudged how much space I had and gave myself a concussion just trying to help her maneuver in her playground area. So, like I said, it just means that I avoided them. This playground, this means so much to me. It means that playtime and a playground for special needs kids, it's not going to be an endangered species anymore. These kids can come out. They have a safe environment. The moms will come out. The moms will meet each other, interact. Children will interact. Many kids with any abilities can interact. So here's what I see. This is my vision for the future. This inclusive playground will be designed to be fully usable and exciting for all children, regardless of their limitations. I see typically abled kids having fun alongside of their peers and alongside of special needs children. I picture a playground that's fun for everyone, fun for all the kids playing and engaging together. So I want to thank you guys for your attendance and enthusiasm. I really see big things happening here in Clayton. And I hope that you will continue to be engaged in this endeavor and this amazing project, and that you all follow us through till its completion. Thank you.
And this concludes our press conference. I just want to thank everyone for being here. I see great things happening, and I'm ready for us to not only build the playground here, the universal playground for all children, but to make an impact nationally. I think we can do this, Mr. Grannis. Thank you for your support. Thank you, TNT team, and thank you everyone that's here today. Have a great day and a happy Thanksgiving.